Hello, I am Aviva reporting for Jerusalem News Live. Today is the 13th of January 2009. We received the translated summary of midday action yesterday in the Gaza Strip, and I quote, "Ground forces were involved in a number of incidents in which several armed gunmen were hit. A squad of terror operatives opened fire at ground forces from a mosque. The forces directed aerial forces that attacked the squad and then searched the mosque, uncovering Qassam rockets and mortar shells. In a different incident, a force identified a number of armed gunmen and opened fire at them. The force later searched the area and uncovered a large amount of weaponry, including anti-aircraft missiles, mortar shells, and machine guns. In addition, forces uncovered a tunnel and destroyed it while searching a house in the northern Gaza Strip. Another force identified a terror operative planting an explosive device and opened fire at him. IAF aircraft attacked over 25 targets throughout the Gaza Strip, including the following: 8 squads of armed gunmen, 2 mortar launchers, 4 launching areas, 3 structures, 2 vehicles in which Hamas terror operatives were driving, different targets as assistance to ground forces, and 165 trucks loaded with humanitarian aid are now being transferred via the Kerem Shalom and Karni crossings. The IDF will continue its operation against all terrorists and those who support them." End quote. And we also have this statement from the IDF as of 8:51 this morning concerning last night's war in the Gaza Strip, and I quote, "Overnight, IDF forces, including infantry, tanks, combat engineers, artillery, and intelligence, continued to operate against the Hamas terrorist infrastructure throughout the Gaza Strip. 2 rigged tunnels located near the security fence were uncovered by forces in the northern Gaza Strip. The forces fired at 3 terror operatives and uncovered many weapons in the area. In addition, forces uncovered a number of additional tunnels used by Hamas in the area. Ground forces were involved in a number of incidents in which several armed gunmen were hit. Throughout the night, approximately 30 terror operatives were hit. Fire was opened at IDF forces from the yard of a mosque. The forces returned fire. Forces also spotted a number of terror operatives placing explosive devices in the outskirts of Gaza City and directed aerial forces that attacked them. Different weapons were uncovered in a number of incidents, including 4 mortar launchers, an explosive device, a vest, and a camera. IAF aircraft attacked over 60 targets throughout the Gaza Strip, including the following: a hotel in which terror operatives were gathering in order to fire at IDF forces, a number of Hamas terror operatives who were rigging a house, a number of terror operatives located in the yard of a mosque, 15 tunnels on the Rafah border area, over 10 launching sites, 10 Hamas outposts, approximately 15 squads of armed gunmen, 7 weapons storage facilities, a weapons manufacturing facility located in the house of a Hamas terror operative, a launching squad, dozens of additional targets attacked as assistance to ground forces. Israeli Navy boats assisted in enforcing the marine closure on the Gaza Strip in preventing the entering of boats that might arrive in the area. 1 IDF soldier was severely wounded, 1 was moderately wounded, and 6 were lightly wounded in various incidents throughout overnight operations. 100 trucks loaded with humanitarian aid are expected to be transferred via the Kerem Shalom crossing. The IDF will continue its operations against all terrorists and those who support them." End quote. And yesterday, Prime Minister Ehud Olmert made the following remarks at the opening of the French-Israeli school in Mikveh Yisrael, and I quote, "I would like to thank you for this splendid institution, an Israeli-French school. The link between Israel and France is strong and long-standing, and the existence of another cultural educational institution in which it will be possible to experience both cultures only further strengthens the warm bonds between the two peoples. I cannot help but comment on events currently taking place in the south of the country. I would like to tell you that the government of Israel's goal is that Ashkelon, Gavin, Sderot, and Nahal Oz will be able to live in the same quiet that the residents of Paris and Marseille live in. We have the same right as any other country to defend ourselves and our residents. I think that it is possible to understand this desire to act after 7 years in which rockets were fired at our residents and we did not respond. In this context, I would like to add that we have not declared war on the residents of Gaza. We do not want to hurt them. Every civilian, every child who has been hurt as a result of our operations in recent days is a victim whom we regret and would like to have avoided. However, we will not renounce our right to defend our citizens, and we will not allow them to continue suffering from the threats of rockets and terrorism." End quote. The new French-Israeli school, which is the result of cooperation between the Alliance Israélite Universelle, the Rashi Foundation, and the Education Ministry, is named in honor of Mr. Raymond Levin, who passed from this life in 1980. Mr. Raymond Levin was a French philanthropist, World War II freedom fighter, and also served as vice president of the Alliance. Mr. Hubert Levin is the son of Mr. Raymond Levin and is currently the president of the Rashi Foundation. We wish the Alliance and the Rashi Foundation good success in the future for their every good undertaking. And that concludes this segment. I am Aviva Lee, reporting for Jerusalem News Live. And oh yes, remember to buy your ticket for the Jerusalem Winter Ball soon. Thank you, and shalom. May the Almighty help this present inhabited world.